There you go. No, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. When Jocelyn and the Disability Advocates asked me to do this, I was honored and very privileged to be asked, but I'm clearly not worthy of the occasion, and I just immediately felt bad for all of you guys. I mean, here we are in just this wonderful venue and this great food, and you guys, invested good money to be here, and as a keynote speaker, you're getting just this kind of public school teacher from Grand Rapids. I mean, Jocelyn, come on, you have to think bigger. No. Seriously. No, I'm here for you guys. I come to these dinners too, and I want to hear good speakers. So, Jocelyn, I did some research for you, and so we're already looking for, and this year's already kind of a loss, but let's focus on next year. So I did a Google search here for you. I mean, because there are a lot of really dynamic people who have disabilities out there that we could bring in. So here's one. A guy just this year with no legs. He's had no legs since he was a kid. And he climbed the largest mountain in Africa. That's someone I want to hear from. Come on, Jocelyn, get on the phone. What are you waiting for? Another person who, where are we at here? There you go. In April, paralyzed adventurer Barry West reached, oh yeah, that's I just talked about that. Here we go. In July, soldier Joe Townsend, who lost both legs in Afghanistan, completed the Ironman UK Challenge. The event, which took him 13 hours, involved a 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a marathon. With no legs, I want to hear from this man. All right, so clearly there are more dynamic people out there. So, I mean, I'll do my best for tonight, but definitely there are some real super crips out there that we can bring in. But no, I say that with all due and loving respect to my fellow handicapped people out there. But no, but to be perfectly honest, so I am actually I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm very appreciative of the opportunity because, quite frankly, even though there are amazing individuals like that who, for whatever their reasons and for whatever their circumstances, felt compelled to overcome these gargantuan challenges, and as much respect as I have for them, I think there is a real perception problem in the disability community, and I feel like I'm uniquely situated to talk about that because half my life I lived as an able-bodied person, and through 23 years of my life, and ever since then I've been living a different life as someone who is disabled. And I remember very clearly what my perceptions were of those who were disabled as an able-bodied person, and how very quickly those perceptions were confounded when I actually became disabled. And those perceptions that I had as an able-bodied person were shaped by media portrayals of those who are disabled. And so those stories that I mentioned of incredible triumphs and defying nature and doing these incredible things were what shaped my perceptions. And I guess that's what I thought most people who are disabled, that's what they needed to do to adapt and adjust to being disabled, to kind of prove to the world and to themselves that they're normal people. And and that's fine, but when I became disabled, I discovered very quickly that our goals and our priorities are much more meager, but equally very important. And to kind of give you a sense of where that comes from, I could tell you just a brief background about how I became disabled. I had just graduated from Michigan State, and I'm still proud to say that, by the way, despite this weekend. So there you go. So, and God bless our Wolverine brethren. That's fine. Not all of us could, get into Michigan State. That's fine. But I was actually, while I was at Michigan State, I was involved in a lot of choirs and performance groups and things of that nature. And one of them was an a cappella group called the Spartan Discords. And they were, it's an audition group, so as people like us graduate, they fill our spots, and it's been going on for since the 80s. And so I went back to Michigan State to see a concert with a bunch of us old alums as we were coming back. And so it was great to see the friends, and we watched the concert, and it was great. And we all got together afterwards and continued celebrating, and all of a sudden, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Isn't that wonderful, being young and having that sort of energy? But at that point, I decided, as the festivities were winding down, I decided I wanted to go home. It was a Saturday morning, and I had been teaching all week. I was in my first year at Hudsonville High School, and I was looking forward to just kind of relaxing for the rest of the weekend. And I had a king-size bed at home that I was looking forward to just kind of relaxing in. And even though I could have stayed at my friend's apartment, who was still in college, and stayed on his couch, I know kind of what happens on those college couches, and I didn't want to sleep there. And so I was looking forward to driving home. And so despite the fact that it was very early and I was probably more tired than I realized, I remembered saying goodbye to my friends, and I remember leaving the apartment, and I remember getting into my brand new car, and I remember driving away from the apartment. And then the next thing I remembered was waking up in the hospital the following Thursday. I basically fell asleep behind the wheel, and as others have told me, since I don't recollect the accident, thankfully, right when I hit the highway, I just kind of fell asleep, and the road went left, and I kept going straight, and I hit a guardrail going about 80 miles an hour, and as a result, I had bruised my spinal cord on the way down. But fortunately, I got immediate attention. I got great care at the hospital, and so fortunately, the only major effects was just the spinal injury. And so they kept me medically sedated through the week to go through the procedures. And when I woke up, I was a little bewildered and mystified as to my surroundings, but I remember the conversation I had with the doctor when I woke up, and my parents were there and anxiously waiting a week after the fact what my response would be, fearing the worst. And I remember the doctor telling me that I had an accident and I was paralyzed. They didn't know the extent. And my first reaction was, okay, did I kill anybody? This is not the safest situation to be in, falling asleep on I-96. And the doctor explained that, nope, no one was involved. It was just you. I started thinking about the situation, and okay, it was my decision to leave, no one else's. It was my own fault. So I can live with that. And my next main concern, and this is, to make a short story very long, this is why I'm bringing this up. My next question was, okay, what's next? What can I do? What do I have to do to get back to my regular life as much as possible? People who are involved in catastrophic accidents, who have disabilities, we all respond to these challenges in different ways. For some people, their main focus is, I want to climb a mountain. I want to, swim across the Great Lakes. Maybe that's how they respond. But my impression is for most people who have injuries like mine or have disabilities like mine, who have those experiences, their main goal is to get back to their normal life as much as possible. My main focus was being independent again, getting back to my job, getting back to playing sports, getting back to hanging out with my friends, living the life that I had beforehand. That was my main priority. That was my main goal. And so fortunately, I was very, very lucky to live in Grand Rapids and to have the resources like disability advocates, like Mary Freebad, like the Grand Rapids Wheelchair Sports Association, to help me with that endeavor. And the challenge there is that, and people will tell me, wow, this is, we're inspired by you, or it's amazing what you're doing, and it must be so hard to have overcome this. And honestly, living as a disabled person is really, that in and of itself, not very hard. What's difficult is that being disabled in an able-bodied world is kind of like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It's hard because society isn't set up for you as a disabled person. It's set up for able-bodied people. But if we could just make more accommodations, if we can make society fit for disabled people, it wouldn't be so hard. It would be fine. And that's where organizations like Disability Advocates become so important, is to raise that awareness that if we can just make changes here, there, and there, life wouldn't be so challenging. It wouldn't be so hard. We want to work. We want to live in homes that are, fit for us. We want to travel. We want to play sports. And all of that stuff is there if we can just make a few accommodations. And so, again, to kind of wrap up, even though I haven't done any major mountain climbing or scuba diving or, swimming across the Great Lakes, I feel very excited and very satisfied with what I've done over these last 12 years. I have traveled, I play tennis, and just this past weekend, I completed a tournament playing wheelchair rugby. And if there is a better metaphor of, I guess, moving on from a disability by getting in a wheelchair and colliding with 7 other wheelchairs on a basketball court in a sport called murder ball, I can't think of a better one. But either way, just to kind of wrap up here, the fact that you're all here and willing to support an organization like Disability Advocates is very encouraging to me, that there is a community of people that recognize the importance of accommodation and just making those extra changes to bring us all together and to integrate everybody into this community. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you, Disability Advocates, for the work that you do. And thank you for supporting organizations like Disability Advocates. It's very important, and keep up the good work. So thank you very much.